the sunlight from coming in.
Hey there, I wanted to talk about this Scarlett 2i2 audio interface. Now, I've usually been recording at home with a condenser mic, which is this guy down here, just USBing directly into the Mac. I've used a snowball mic in the past as well, but I bought this one because it was dual purpose, and you can look at my review of that in a separate video. I'll post the link. Dual purpose meaning I could bring it to the recording studio or the practice space, and I could plug it into a regular PA system, regular mic cable, or I could have the USB input and go directly into the Mac, and then using GarageBand or whatever else I could record directly onto it. And it's been pretty cool, and I've posted a lot of videos on my channel playing songs using that setup. And sometimes I get comments from people saying, hey, I love this song, but I'd love if you had a condenser mic that was getting a better sound, or I love if you had a balance of the guitar and the vocals. And you know, sometimes I don't even use the mic, I just use the mic directly on the video camera, so I don't even use a separate mic. And yeah, when I hear those comments from folks saying, hey, maybe you could get a better sound setup, it does give me pause. And I'm not fantastic at home recording, so this was an opportunity for me to try to improve a little bit and learn something. At one point I even tried to use the snowball mic and the Audio-Technica USB going directly into the Mac, and so I had two USB mics coming into GarageBand, and I thought, well, that would solve the problem. And in order to really accommodate that, you kind of have to create a custom input in your sound preferences which combines both of them, and that seemed like a good way to go. But having done that, it's a single channel, so they're blended, which not only did I have some technical issues even getting that to be recognized and working, really only one of the mics seemed to be coming through, but having thought about it, if I had gotten it to work properly, you're not going to be able to get a balance, because whatever you do with the volume is going to affect both incoming channels. So it occurred to me it was time for me to get something a bit more sophisticated. This is not highly sophisticated, so if you're like me and you don't do a lot of home recording at any kind of high level, you're not a sound engineer, you're not a mixing engineer, you don't work in a recording studio, so you need something that's kind of straightforward, I think this is a pretty cool option. Not that expensive. This only cost me about $220, and that's with the warranty on it. I always get the extended warranty at Guitar Center when I go there. So this takes two inputs. So that solves the problem of guitar and vocals and trying to get some balance. So they record separately on two separate tracks, which means when I go back later, I can adjust the volumes. And the two inputs can be regular mic cable, or they can be the kind of cable that you'll see with your guitar. So both types will plug into the input. So you can have an electric guitar or bass guitar or a keyboard going into the audio interface, and you could have a mic going in there, or you could have two mics or two guitars. So there's a number of options you can have there, but the basic setup is you've got two different channels coming in. You can also output to speakers, so you can use it as a kind of a playback option, and you can set it directly to your speakers. It also has a monitor option, so you can plug your headphones in, which is pretty cool if you want to record along with some previously recorded tracks. I was just now trying to record along with my friend Demonic Sweaters, drumming to one of my songs called Fire Escape. We thought we'd do one of these joint performances where we'd each record our performance and then kind of splice them together. Through the bars of the fire escape, leaning tall towers, stop the sunlight from coming in. Trying to record along with pre-recorded drums while performing the song is not my forte. This is partly why I'm doing a semester, at least a semester at music school, to try to get a little more formal grounding in things like how to count in my head and all of that kind of stuff that I'm not great at. So 5 or 6 takes later, I have what I consider to be about as an acceptable take as I'm going to get, but none of that would have been possible without an interface, so that I could run Pro Tools into my headphone, hearing the drum track, and then get a balanced recording between the guitar and the vocals, so that I can ship that back to Demonic Sweaters.
Through the bars, across the window. Through the bars, the fire escape.
So my first attempt to really use any kind of sophisticated audio interface to do recording. So I guess this video is aimed at people like me who are not highly sophisticated and want to find something that's not terribly expensive but is relatively easy to use and easy to set up, and they can get going pretty quickly. A couple of other features it has on here, there's what's called an air button, and from what I understand that synthesizes the sound of some other Scarlett equipment, so it kind of gives a little more high-end adjustment, which they say is good for vocal and acoustic guitar and other instruments. It also has phantom power, so if your mic requires phantom power, there's a button for that too. I will say the setup took a little longer than I expected, and that's partly my own fault because it comes with a whole lot of software. It comes with Ableton Live Lite and Pro Tools. I don't think it's the full version of Pro Tools. Pro Tools first, so I think it's kind of a lighter version, but it is free, and it comes with a whole lot of other software, which include plugins and samples and drum loops and things like that. So if you really wanted to go to town and you're doing a lot of editing, there's a lot of options for how much further you can go. But for me, I really just want something that I can plug two mics in, get a good balance, and work with it in something like GarageBand. So this setup would have been a lot faster if I didn't install Pro Tools, because there's a lot that goes along with that, including the license management. It's a big file to download, installing it, configuring it, setting up. It's a little bit complicated. So it took me over an hour to get the whole thing working before I could actually go and start recording my track. So if you want to skip the hour and you have GarageBand, say, on your Mac already, you're perfectly used to that, maybe that's fine. You can just skip the additional software and you can get going pretty quickly. Bottom line, the problem that I say this solves, the problem it solved for me, is you're a singer-songwriter, you've got guitar and vocals, and you want to have a way to get them on separate tracks and be able to balance that out, and you're not an experienced sound engineer. You want something straightforward and simple that's going to plug and play, and with minimal setup. I think this is a pretty cool option. It also looks pretty sleek, and it doesn't take up a lot of room on your desk. It's a pretty small piece of gear, which is important, especially in New York apartments where you have to maybe pack everything away. I mean, you can't leave all this garbage hanging around your apartment after you're done recording your piece. So that's all I got today. I just bought this a couple of weeks ago and I just got around to finally using it, and I figured I would share my thoughts with you on YouTube here. If you like what you see on my channel, I'm posting gear reviews on Monday, and I post music on Thursdays. Then go ahead and click the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit that bell icon so you're notified when I post new content. And I'll see you again on the next video. Take it easy.
Your sad face